Hi there. Welcome to another edition of Equipping. Equipping videos are intended to educate and disciple believers and help them further their study in the Word of God. Today we continue with apostasy, and I'm looking at another Old Testament case study in the study of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. Now, 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 25 to 33 is the text for you to read. Now, in this case of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, Jeroboam was a very strong leader under God until he came to power. The Bible tells us that this man stood up for God's people in the days when Solomon became oppressive of the people. And afterwards, Ahijah the Shilonite, the prophet of God, will intercept him in the forest and tear the garment he wore, into 12. He gave him 10 portions and he held 2 portions. And invariably, we see the prophecy that was given to him about him becoming the next president of that nation come to pass. But what happens is baffling. Again, I want to tell you, apostasy and leadership are two inseparable operations. That apostasy essentially exists because of false leadership or true leadership that goes in false direction. All right? And so from this particular passage, let me tell you some of the things you are going to glean. Number one lesson we see from apostasy, Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and the children of Israel. Number one, a desire to keep people from leaving the king. 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 26. When a pastor or a leader seeks to keep people at any cost by doing anything, apostasy is inevitable. And I beg to say this to us, that we will see this as a prevalent factor all over the world in most of our churches today. Why are we bending the word of God in subjects like masturbation, in subjects like pornography, in subjects like homosexuality and lesbianism? Why are we alternating leadership in leadership styles in form of adapting that which is not scriptural and bringing it into the house of God? Why is it difficult for us to separate between the holy and the common? In a bid to make people come to church and stay in church, we have seen the subsidization of the word of God and the lowering of the standard of God to accommodate people in the name of grace. Yet most people do not realize that grace is stronger than the law. That under the law, a man needs to be caught committing adultery physically for him to be guilty. But under grace, Jesus says that if you do this in your heart, you are guilty of that offense. And so we see here that a desire to keep people from living brought Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, into apostasy. He was afraid that they were going to go back to the places where they came from, and they came from there. He wasn't entitled to the throne. God gave him the throne, but now he wants to keep by law what he got by grace. So we find out that if you have a passion to keep people at any cost, you will enter into apostasy. Number two, the fear that he may lose his life if the people go. So we find out that there are many instances where maybe as a result of pastors thinking, if this man leaves church, the major tithes that come in will go. Or if this person leaves, I'm going to suffer. As a result of this, we have seen many pastors gone into apostasy or go into apostasy. We have seen the ordinations of men into leadership position who do not have the character or the moral ground for them to stand in such offices. And so this man was afraid that if the people went back, he was going to lose his life. He forgot that it was the Lord that brought him there. Fear will bring you into apostasy. Unbelief in the Lord to keep you and preserve you will bring you into apostasy. The Bible tells us that he was advised by professionals that he sought instead of seeking the will of God. So Jeroboam, when he got to power, don't forget the Lord brought him there, but he did not stay. He now began to stay in the place where the Lord brought him by the counsels of men. He did not seek the counsel of the Lord anymore. I'm going to stop here. The next episode, we're going to continue with the apostasy of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, as a mirror for